Hello and welcome. This is Angie with thecountrycottage.net here today with another fun Cricut video. So this video is sponsored by Cricut, however all projects and opinions are my own. Today I have a fun project for you. So we're going to use our maker and the rotary blade to make some little organizing bins. So I'm going to make two different sizes. I have a file for two different sizes. You can find the cut file first of all in the description for this video. Follow along with the video to see how to make them, get the sewing instructions, all that kind of thing. You'll also want to, in the cut file, have a couple of things of iron-on hand because you'll want to cut the little labels that go on the front. The fabric itself is Cricut fabric, and you can get one bundle of Cricut fabric, and it comes in coordinating shades like these. So it's enough to make tons of these little organizing bins, and then you can organize all the things. So I'm using mine to organize my Cricut supplies, but you can change the wording in the file, and you can put whatever labels you want on these. So if you think these will work great in your bathroom to organize, like say you put Q-tips in the small one, cotton balls in the big one, you can absolutely do that. So let's get started and make some organizing bins. So for this project you're going to need some fabric. So Cricut has bundles of fabric, so this is one of the bundles. So they're coordinating bundles, and they're also already cut to 12 inches wide, so they work perfectly on your mat. So I have a bundle of Cricut fabric. And you'll also need some iron-on material, and I'm going to use two different colors, and I'm going to layer it, and I'll show you how to do that. We're going to use the Cricut Easy Press to apply this, so you'll need that as well. And then you'll need some kind of stiffener or batting or something like that to stiffen the fabric bins. And then we'll use quite a few different Cricut tools, and I'll show you about these later in the video. So first let's talk about the mat and how to use that. So the mat for fabric is pink, and it has a special adhesive specifically for fabric. And like I said, the fabric in the bundle from Cricut is actually cut to 12 inches wide, so we can just start laying that down. And if you press it down as you go, you can actually get most of the wrinkles out. And all you need to do is get it on the mat fairly straight. And then just press it down with your hand. And then once you get it all the way on your mat, you'll just want to, and as well, I want to mention that this is a 12 by 24 mat, which makes cutting projects like this that are larger a bit easier. So I would recommend the 12 by 24 mat, but you can make this with the 12 by 12 mat. You'll just have maybe some more scrap. And then once your fabric is on there, you can actually use a brayer to bray it down. Make sure it's good and down. Get any bubbles out of it. And then once your pieces are cut, you can actually use something like this tool, which is like a tweezers, to lift them off. So the less you touch the adhesive on the fabric mat with your hands, the fewer oils will get on the mat and the longer your mats will last. So the tweezers will just help extend the life of your mats if you want to do that. So now we're going to run this through our Cricut machine, and we're going to cut some pieces. Okay, we're going to start sewing with the larger of the two baskets, and we're going to use a liner piece, which in this case is my gray polka dot, and a stiffener piece. And you want to sew those together, so put them together and fold them in half, the batting or stiffener side out, and sew down each edge. So I sewed the ends of both of my baskets, the larger size baskets, so I'm making two of those. And then I repeated the same step. So I folded the outer piece in half because I want my outer piece to be this floral. And I sewed it on both ends as well. Now, next step, we are going to take the inside of this, and we are going to fold it down, and then we're going to sew across this end. Now this length will determine how wide your basket is. So you can sew it in different areas, but you need to, if you want your baskets all to be the same, you need to be the same on all of your baskets as well as both ends. You would need to be the same on that. So I would recommend using a ruler and measuring it off. So I'm going to make mine 3 inches, and then I'm going to mark that. And you could mark it with a pen, or I'm just going to use a Sharpie. So at 3 inches, so where the ruler touches at 0 and 3, 0 and 3, and I'm just going to mark that. And then I'm going to sew straight across there, and I'm going to repeat for all of the ends on both the inside and the outside, and I'm going to sew across there. So now we've sewn all our pieces across our marks, and now we just want to trim those corners. So just use a pair of scissors and cut on the side of your stitch that you just created. So you want to cut on both the liner pieces as well as the outer piece. Now we can kind of tell the size of our outer piece. So now we're going to add our iron-on to the outside as a label. Okay, so now I'm going to use my Easy Press to apply my iron-on to the outside of my baskets. So first of all, I have the Easy Press, and I have the mini size for this one, so the smallest size. And I looked up the time and temperature for the type of iron-on I'm using, as well as the fabric material I'm using, and I have that set. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press these little baskets so that I know where the edge is. So you just want to go from the stitched edge to the stitched edge, and I'm just going to use the Easy Press and put a crease down there. So this will be the front of my basket. So then when I turn it right side out, I have a crease so I know exactly where the edge of my basket will be. So now I can locate my iron-on. Now we're going to put the white on first, so the label, and then we're going to follow that up with the words. And then we can also tell where these ends will be, but you can press those as well. So you could fold those over and press those just so you can see a little bit better where everything will be located. So now I know where everything will be located, and then I can just preheat my material just a little bit for a couple seconds. And then I'm going to locate my label approximately in the center, up and down, and side to side. Now you will take a little bit off the top when we do this last, the last stitch, so take that into account. And then we're going to press it. Then we're going to press it with our Easy Press. The Easy Press will display the time and temperature. You press the green button when you are pressing it, and it will count down the time for you, and you just apply light pressure to the top. So we'll just peel back this carrier sheet, and then you just want to center the words onto your little white label. And then you want to be sure to cover that white iron-on back up. So I'm going to put the carrier sheet that I removed back on there and press it one more time. And you can hear the Easy Press beep when it's done. We just want to turn it over, press for a few seconds from the back, and then this portion will be complete. And once it's cooled off just a little bit, we can peel back both sheets, and our iron-on is done, our iron-on label. Then we'll just want to put it inside of our bin, so this is right sides together, and then we're going to sew all around the top, leaving an opening. Then we can turn it right side out, top stitch, and our basket will be done. So I stitched all the way around this top edge, leaving a small opening, and then I can just use that opening to turn my basket right side out. So I'm turning with the two fabrics on the outside. And Now you want to do a few things to complete your little organization basket. So the first thing we're going to need to do is sew up this hole. So you'll need to top stitch all the way around the outside, making sure to get that hole top stitched over. And then we're actually going to take these corners and top stitch the sides as well. That way our basket will stand up more like a box or bin rather than rounded corners, so they'll be square corners. So I did want to show you what a difference the top stitching would make. So this basket I just top stitched around the top just to close that opening. And you can see that it doesn't hold its shape very well. This basket I top stitched the corners as well as all the way down both long sides, and now it stands up and forms a better rectangle. So that's the difference in between the two. So you can do it either way, but I prefer the top stitched version. So these are super fun, right? And pretty easy to make. I'm kind of in love with them and the little labels. So if you want to make these, be sure to head to thecountryschiccottage.net. The link is in the description for this video. For the cut file, can't find it, leave a comment below. We'll get it for you. Have any questions about any of the steps, any of the sewing, how I made the baskets? Again, comment below. I will get you an answer. So thank y'all so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed making these little baskets with your Cricut Maker and the rotary blade. So give us a thumbs up on YouTube if you like this. Subscribe as well to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our Cricut crafts. We have them regularly and you don't want to miss projects like these right on our YouTube channel. Thank y'all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye.